welcome back to Swiss Home Garden. Chitra here. In this video, I will be showing you how to make red currant jelly. I've already shared a couple of jam recipes with red currant in this channel and also in my blog. Please take a look at my blog at swisshomegarden.com, red currant jam recipe. This recipe is slightly different because I am changing the method how I'm going to be making it, and I will also be changing the consistency of this recipe. Red currants are rich in organic acids and polyphenols, and they are also known as Johannisbeeren in German. Johannisbeeren is because it starts to ripen on the 24th of June, which is the birthday of John the Baptist, and it's also beginning of summer. And true to that, we have been able to harvest only after the 24th of June. Red currants are native to Northern Europe. They are also very high in pectin content, so you don't need to be cooking this with pectin sugar. In fact, you can use a couple of teaspoons of red currant jam into some other jam and thicken it. This is how red currants look like. They have a little bit of a tarty taste, and this belongs to the gooseberry family. I've been actually eating them just like that, and they're quite good. I really like to eat them as soon as they are ripe. But I have so much of it and I don't want to freeze them, so I will be converting them into jelly. I'm not going to be removing the berries from the stalks, and I will also not be thickening the jam so much. I want this in a jelly-like consistency, so it will be a little bit liquidish. We have been harvesting quite a bit of the berries because our bush has doubled in size compared to the past couple of years, and we have a good harvest so far. We are trying to get to the berries before the birds get to it this year. And I have over here, after washing, 1750 grams of the berries, and I'm going to be adding almost the equal quantity of normal granulated caster sugar. I'm not going to be adding pectin sugar in this case. We will cook this completely, and once they are soft and mashed, I'm going to strain it with the jam strainer, and then I will be cooking this again and then bottling it. I'm going to be using a lot of upcycled glass jars, and I've already heated up the glass jar in my baking oven with the steam function and with the hot air function, so they're completely sterilized. We'll also be adding a juice of a lemon so that the color turns a really bright red color, because once you cook the jam, the color starts to change. And to bring back the color, we are adding the lemon juice, and it also kind of preserves the jam. Let's begin with the recipe. So I have over here 1750 grams of the berries with the stalks. I've washed them a couple of times, and I'm adding a similar amount of granulated caster sugar. This is not pectin sugar. And then I have about 1.5 lemon. I have a special jam strainer. I got this recently actually, and I'm going to be using upcycled glass jars, and we will need a funnel. Generally, I have special cooking utensils for sweets and for salty stuff. So whatever is used for sweets, I keep it separately because otherwise the flavor will change. So this is especially for making sweets and jams. Wash the berries a couple of times thoroughly, and then transfer it into a thick bottom pot along with the caster sugar. Add also a little bit of water, like a few tablespoons of water. Cover the pot and let the berries cook for about 15 to 20 minutes until they are soft and mushy. You will see that in this recipe, compared to the last two recipes, that I'm actually not removing the berries from the stalks because I'm going to be using a jam strainer to separate out the juice from the pulp. After some time, you will notice that there is some foam forming on top of the jam mixture. I'm going to be straining out some of this foam because I want to have a clear jelly. Once the berries are thoroughly cooked and soft, you can use a potato masher to mash it more before you strain it into the jam strainer. In case you don't have a jam strainer, use a good sieve to strain out the juice from the pulp and the stalks. The cooking process takes roughly between 15 to 20 minutes because this is quite a big quantity of the berries. I'm here mashing it with a potato masher to soften it even further so that I can strain it easily with a strainer. Separate the juice from the pulp and the stalks and transfer it back to the big pot. Add the lemon juice into the strained juice mixture and then cook it for about 7 to 10 minutes. As usual with all my jam recipes, I like to do a plate test. In this recipe, I will not be thickening the jam so long because this will be jelly and the consistency will be semi-liquid. For doing the plate test, set a plate into the freezer. Test the jelly mixture at intervals. Drop a little bit of the jelly mixture into the frozen plate and tilt it. If it is still too runny, continue this a few times till it is the consistency that you would like. You don't need to be thickening it too much because the jelly itself has very high pectin content and it will thicken once it cools. Once it has achieved the required consistency, switch off the heat and transfer it into sterilized glass jars. Before transferring the jelly into the sterilized glass jars, place a thick wooden board and then transfer the bottle on top and then fill it using a funnel. Fill the hot jelly mixture into this glass jar. Make sure that the glass jar is also warm so that it doesn't break when you're transferring the hot liquid. I'm using this wooden board. You can also use a tea towel to prevent the jar from cracking because when the jar comes in contact with a cold surface, it will crack due to the high heat from the hot jelly mixture. Actually, I did reduce the amount of sugar that was needed for this jelly because we have to consider that the pulp and the stalks also weigh something. When you're straining them out, then you do not need so much of sugar. I reduced it about 10%. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and thank you for watching. Kindly visit my blog for a full printable version of this recipe and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. I generally post one new video every week on food from scratch, Swiss country living, gardening and natural recipes. See you in my next video. Bye bye.